Well, good morning, everyone. A big announcement. Might as well get it right out of the way. So, apparently, we sold the tiny house yesterday to some super nice folks that have been following on my channel. They actually bought a couple e-bikes a few weeks ago. Vince and Lisa, I am so excited. This is pretty cool. So, they helped me make some decisions because I went back and forth on heating systems and whatnot. So we have changed a few things around, and you'll see those as they develop. Pretty much they said finish it as I would like, so that's what I'm going to do. Not sure exactly how quickly this will be done. They're not in any hurry, but they said they could use it for their grandkids and family members that when they come over. So that's exciting to see that it's going to go to a great use like that. It'll just be parked out back. They have quite a bit of land there, and I think their property borders some state property or something. So there's lots of elbow room to get out and enjoy it. So let's move on to the next thing, and that's going to be top plates all the way around to tighten that up. All right. You can see behind me, ahead of me, where the walls join together. That's where I'm putting the second plate on. And so this front wall, the plate will overlap the side wall, so it ties that in. So I nail it really well in the corner, and that just ties all four corners in super well. So that's where I'm headed. A little hard to show you from down here what's happening up there. So I'll mark out the plates over here if you want to take a look. One thing I always do before I go up on the top of the wall is to mark out for rafter locations. So this represents the second top plate on that front wall that I just showed you. And this is the side wall top plate that goes over that picture window. When you mark out for rafters, I'm putting them 2 feet on center. So the place you start from is not, if you're marking them out, you don't start from here and measure 2 feet. You have to figure this part going this way. The gable end rafter will be right along the edge here. Then we're coming over at 2 feet is the center of the rafter. Then you hold back 3/4 of an inch each side so that the rafter straddles that, comes right on there. So when you nail any either sheathing or strapping, that will be your exact 2-foot mark going all the way up the rafter. So now I'll mark these all out the rest of the way and nail them up there. Well, everything was actually perfectly square. Even corner to corner diagonals were right on. So I think it's time for house wrap. Usually I do this from the outside. Let's start right there. Letting go. Let it go. Let it go. This is when it'll take some interesting shape, finally. We'll see a box, a rectangular box. all stapled off. Just going to trim it off along the bottom. May use this elsewhere, so I'll hang on to it. Well, let's cut out this big picture window. I usually just slice in the corner, come in a little bit. I want to make sure everything is absolutely clear so that when you go to put the window in, it's not hitting something, or the window will fetch up, you like that word? If you don't actually slice this all the way back into the corner, if you've got a heavy window like this and you're setting it in and you hit something there and you can't tip it in, it's very frustrating. And I leave just a little bit so I can pull it in and staple all the way around. Actually, that'd make a pretty nice shade, wouldn't it? Blind. I'd make a blind or something. So then I just pull it in, staple it. What? Out of staples. Got to load up again, but that's the idea. Getting ready to secure the wall sheathing, and because I'm working alone, I'm going to put up just a board. To hold it so I can set the sheet right on there. Now I can just set the sheet on there and nail it off, and it won't move. What I'm using is LP Smart Sheathing. Comes all primed and everything. And I drew lines lightly so I knew where the studs were. Okay. That is perfect. Nice. You can tell it's square if with a square sheet of sheathing, if it lines up there, and it lines up going down through there. Next, sheet number 2. So my intent, once I get this sheathed and get the roof on, is I'm going to take it down and weigh it, see where we're at, just to know. This one will be a little more difficult because there's a fender in the way. I've got to move that temporary bracing to hold things. And sheet number 3 out of, how many would be 4 on this side? Very good. And sheet number 4, that'll complete this side. Hey, here we are. There's a kitchen window. So that's 2 windows. Now we're going to cut this down to the top of the top plate. And we're on to the other long wall. Boy, this is some beautiful weather. Wow. There. I had to move that wall maybe I don't know, a 1/4 inch at the top. Wasn't much. Very nice, very nice. Very, very, very nice. That's better. That's very nicer. Hey, I'm right here, why not nail it? These are, I may have mentioned it, all getting battens. I'm going to space them 1 foot apart. Should work really well. Very good. Another exciting day at the lumberyard. $850. Insulation, a few more studs, strapping for the roof. That's about half. I need another load of insulation like that, except 1.5 inches. So that's 2 inch. Because I'm filling out the walls 3.5 inches. So, time to unload. Where am I going to put it? I made a mock-up, well actually this is actually one of the trusses, but it'll have plywood gussets on here for strength. Just going to try it out up here. The first one will sit right on top of the plate, flush to the outside, and then they'll go 2 feet every. Now that I know this works for a rafter truss, I'll use one of these as a template and cut the rest of them so that they're all identical, then put them together. The important part in building rafters or trusses is consistency. So I've taken I just used one for all of them, and I've marked them, put pencil marks all the way around. I've done all of these. It's going to be a total of 9 of them. So now we'll go over and cut them on the chop saw. So I'll use a skill saw and a jigsaw to finish cutting out this notch. And I'm going to cut there's 8 more full-length ones. Cut them, and then I'll cut this little, it's a 22.5 degree cut. Scrap pile's getting bigger. I'll be making the bird's mouth now. I've got the top, that's the top. This will have the cutout that sits on top of the wall. I've made a template, so these are the two rafter pieces. I made a template of plywood that I will use. I'll cut a bunch of these. They'll just be flush to here, centered, nailed off. The two gables will only have one on each end, or on the inside part. It won't have plywood on the outside because the sheathing is coming up on the outside. But the nice thing is, so I've made this come down enough so that on the flat there'll be a tongue and groove pine, and there'll be a wire chase so that we can run the lighting. That would be really nice. So I need to make a bunch of these. Kaya, you're a really big help. I need to make 16 of these, 5 inches this way, and then I'll cut the angles. I made a mark here. So 16, and I already have one. I've set this to a 22.5, and this was the template one I made. So I just set it right up against the saw, the template, and I drew a line here. So now I can just go right along and mass produce on a small scale. Well, to close out this video, look what I've got. Spruce trees that were given to me from the people that bought my trailer, my equipment trailer, Dale and Jonna, and their two kids, Scott and Lisa. Nice folks. I went and met them halfway down to Connecticut with the equipment trailer, and they bought it and they took it the rest of the way. I think this would be great. Ugh. Right in front of the chicken coop. Those are super good, healthy looking trees right there. See you later. Thanks.
Be good. Thanks so much.
They do Christmas trees and all kinds of stuff, landscaping.